8 rappers who grew up. Because rap is a relatively new game, we do not yet have old rappers the way that we have old rock stars. Rock icons like Mick Jagger are creeping towards their 80s, while even some of the oldest icons of hip-hop, such as NWA's Ice Cube, have just barely broken their 50s. However, as the genre continues to change both sonically and thematically, we've recently begun to see something that has yet been unprecedented. What happens to an older rapper's music as they age and mature? Some artists like Jay-Z have been a focal point of the limelight for nearly 3 decades, and have music that spans large swaths of their life. As a result, it's become fascinating to watch these artists grow, mature, and change their perspectives on life through their music. However, not all growth comes strictly from age. Many other artists have matured rapidly through introspection, life-changing experiences, and obstacles. We're currently in the era where the facade of rap bravado is more transparent than ever, and artists are encouraged to freely express their truths. Before we get started, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Now, here are 8 rappers who have matured over their career. Number 8, Bobby Shmurda. When Bobby Shmurda broke into the scene with his instant hit Hot Boy in 2014, he became an instant celebrity. The song's catchy bravado and meme-worthy line, "About a week ago," propelled the 19-year-old rapper to stardom. However, it was the same song that would contribute to Shmurda's arrest just months later. Considered to be nearly a documentary of actual crimes committed, Hot Boy was used in part as evidence against Shmurda for gang activity, and he was sentenced to 25 years in state prison. However, a plea deal in 2016 lowered the sentence to 7 years, which allowed Bobby to walk out of prison as a free man in 2021. Though Shmurda has not yet released new music in his short time out of prison, he has made it clear that his perspective as a person has dramatically shifted. In his first post-prison interview, Shmurda talked about how he only began to take rap seriously when he realized how many children looked up to him, which inspired him to strive to be a role model. Only time will tell what Shmurda does with his newfound responsibility. Number 7, J. Cole. J. Cole has always positioned himself as the everyman of rap, offering up woke but accessible viewpoints to listeners and champion love, dedication, and personal fulfillment. However, it took a long journey to get Cole to this place, and even longer for him to actually believe the things he was rapping about. Despite always having been an introspective person, Cole fell victim to many of the temptations that many rappers do: money, chains, women, and luxurious spending. However, by the time of his 2014 release, 2014 Forest Hills Drive, Cole was beginning to understand that achieving monetary success was not going to end his search for personal fulfillment. In the track Love Yours, Cole discusses how his climb to fame sometimes made him feel like he went the wrong way, and how the only thing that matters is the love of those around you. Cole expanded on this idea in 2016 with the release of Jermaine's Interlude on DJ Khaled's Major Key. On the track, Cole chastises himself, even considering retirement for his past bragging when many others in the black community were suffering and he was doing nothing to aid them. Since then, Cole has been dramatically more involved in philanthropy, even converting his childhood home into a shelter for abused and at-risk mothers. Number 6, Gucci Mane. Before Bobby Shmurda had a life-changing experience in prison, Gucci Mane was undergoing the same type of changes. The Atlanta icon was known for his numerous and frivolous run-ins with the law. Even once he had achieved massive mainstream success, Gucci continued to sell drugs and commit offenses that landed him in and out of prison for years. However, in 2014, during a particularly dark period in his life, Gucci was arrested on weapon possession charges. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison. During his time incarcerated, Gucci was able to break his addiction to codeine and other opioids. With nothing to do, he turned to fitness and refocused his efforts on improving his rap skills. It was during this time that he realized if he did not change his ways, he would end up permanently incarcerated or worse, dead. Upon his release in 2016, Gucci looked so different it sparked some rumors that the real Gucci had died in prison and was replaced with a look-alike or clone. However, Gucci remains committed to his decision to live a more peaceful life, and has remained both sober and out of legal trouble since. Number 5, Jay-Z. Jay-Z has been a major player in the rap industry since the mid-90s. Now, nearly 30 years later, the rapper still remains one of the biggest figures in rap, even going as far as to become the first rapper valued at over $1 billion. Jay-Z is often discussed in rap's greatest of all time discussions, and is one of the world's best-selling artists across any genre. Jay-Z's early music positioned him as both a drug kingpin and a notoriously smooth, apathetic leader. Much of his music's early content shows him cultivating an image as a mafia don, everyone, calm, collected, and empathetic. However, this has shifted over his decades as an artist. While Hove undoubtedly still retains his image as the Don of rap, his highly publicized relationship with singer Beyoncé has dramatically changed him. In 2016, Beyoncé released the album Lemonade. The project all but confirmed suspicions by the general public that Jay-Z had previously cheated on Beyoncé. Though these rumors were unaddressed by Hove for some time, he eventually responded with his 2017 release, 444. In the album, he discusses his struggle to adjust to domestic life, apologizes to Beyoncé for his infidelity, and examines what actions he must take to become a better man, husband, and father. The project was a major leap in themes and tone from his previous releases, and was praised as a major step forward in Jay's career, with one critique saying, quote, "By embracing vulnerability, Jay-Z has taken a step towards genuine wisdom." Number 4, Chief Keef. When he first started gaining fame, Chief Keef was hands down one of the most wild rappers at the time. I mean, he was 16 or 17 and coming out of one of Chicago's most dangerous neighborhoods. So it was to be expected when he got a good chunk of money at such a young age that he wouldn't know how to act. A perfect example of this is when he didn't show up to his video shoot with 50 Cent and Wiz Khalifa for Hate Being Sober, an obvious missed opportunity. Or when he was paid $75,000 to perform at a concert in London and ended up never showing up. He ended up being sued for that incident and had to fork over $230,000 in damages for pulling a no-show at a concert. There's numerous examples of him doing stuff like that back in 2012 and 2013, but in recent years it's been obvious that he's matured quite a bit. 6ix9ine has relentlessly antagonized him for a while now, and while the teenage Chief Keef might have responded and took the feud to a new level, he instead chose to ignore it. Smart decision, considering it was later revealed that Tekashi was cooperating with the feds. He also is more consistent with his music nowadays, and tends to show up to concerts when he's booked. Gotta give him props for that. Number 3, Eminem. How does one of the most controversial artists in the world grow up without losing everything that made his music special in the first place? Slowly. Eminem has been one of rap's most polarizing and famous figures since he stormed onto the scene in 1997 with the Slim Shady EP. Both adored and hated for his fearlessly violent and shocking lyrics, and built the majority of his career off of controversy. However, after struggling with a pill addiction and the death of his best friend Proof in a bar fight, Mathers bottomed out and overdosed, leading him to a short stint in rehab. Though his first year sober proved difficult, with a couple of relapses, M was able to ultimately win over his sobriety, and has remained clean ever since. This experience led the rapper to become overall more introspective, apologizing to everyone from his ex-wife Kim to even his mother for pain that he may have caused them. The rapper rededicated himself to being more of a present father, and attempting to find peace and balance between his superstardom and his notoriously reclusive personal life. However, Marshall Mathers still has some Eminem left in him. The rapper just couldn't help but return to form with the release of his last albums, Kamikaze and Music to be Murdered By, in which he employs his typical violent lyrics and pop culture references to lambast everyone from Tyler the Creator to himself. Number 2, Mac Miller. Though Mac Miller's career was cut short by his tragic death in 2018, the rapper showed an immense amount of growth and maturity over his decade-long span of making music. In his earliest moments of his career, Miller was labeled as a frat rapper, alongside artists like Asher Roth and Sam Adams. His debut album, Blue Slide Park, the follow-up to his free mixtape Best Day Ever, was critically panned, something that affected Miller dramatically. Descending into drug use and suffering from severe depression, Miller dramatically altered his musical style, and began a journey that would continue to change his music for the rest of his life. Becoming heavily influenced by psychedelic rock, progressive jazz, and of course, rap, Miller began to experiment with elevating his music beyond regular rap. During this time, his substance abuse problem worsened. While Miller never attended rehab, he was able to mostly sort out his sobriety issues by the time he released his 2018 project, Swimming. Hailed as a major step forward in Miller's musical journey, the record was praised for its genre-bending sound and sincere lyrics. Unfortunately, Miller would pass away from an accidental overdose just months later, leading his last album, Circles, to be released posthumously. Number 1, Tyler the Creator. Tyler the Creator has had one of the most dramatic changes of any current rap artists. When he first began to gain notoriety in 2009 as the leader of the Odd Future Collective, it was due to his shocking, violent, and hateful lyrics. It seemed that no group or individual was safe from Tyler's lyrics. He targeted gays, whites, other minorities, women, and even his own father. His lyrics ended up getting him banned from several countries, including England, and his music continually drummed up major controversy. Though Tyler has remained unapologetic about his content intensive music even to this day, there has been a remarkable change. His 2015 release of Cherry Bomb showed Tyler leading away from, though not totally abandoning, his shocking lyrics in exchange for a more experimental sound. Then in 2017, Tyler released the project Flower Boy, a radically different project featuring a more polished, orchestral production than any of his previous releases. On the album, Tyler essentially abandons his previous shocking lyrics for much more intimate, personal lyrics, including the revelation that the rapper experiences same-sex attraction and had even been in some same-sex relationships. Though Tyler is notoriously private about his real life, it seems he has permanently left behind the previous persona, as 2019's Igor followed a path more similar to Flower Boy. So did any of the rappers on this list surprise you? Let me know in the comments. And before you leave, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel.